have in your groups education licensure students and majors. If you don't, you go down to this browse section and click on education licensure students and majors, and that will get you access to that group, okay? So I'm gonna open that link, and I'm just gonna show you on the toolbar what all you'll find there. I'm not gonna go through all the details right now, but we do have kind of a members page that kind of welcomes you in. That's what you see right now. There's a group directory, so if you're thinking, who was that person I saw in that class, you might be able to use the directory to find that, although the Mount Roar app might be better for that. We have a public page that's open to the public, so even if you're not logged in, you can access that public page. Your graduation requirements are there. All of your clinical experience forms for when you go into the field. Your handbook for the School of Education. So if you're wondering, boy, I'd really like to read that undergraduate handbook for the School of Education, you could find it there. More than likely, you're going to skim it the first time, but then use it as a resource. Okay, so you're thinking, what's the rule about this? Or, you know, that kind of thing. You can do that. Of course, again, we never want anyone to suffer in silence. So if you're not finding it in a few minutes, just contact your advisor and we'll help you. There's licensure and career information there. All the information about the OIEs is right there. Information on professional development, because by the time you get to student teaching, we want to make sure that you've gone to a conference, a professional conference, and joined a professional organization. Those are important things that educators do, so we're going to want to make sure you do that. Your program advising is right there, and that's a really good place to, oh, and back on OAE exams, there is a different OAE schedule for when to take those tests already there for high school, for special ed and early childhood. You know, so those are all right there. Middle childhood, they're all right there. So you will be able to find those schedules in that tab. And then program advising is where you'll find your program sheet. So if you're trying to figure out already, what are my next 4 years going to look like? You can go into that program advising space and look at the whole program for your major. You know, there's a little work to do with, you have to cross off any courses you've already taken and passed. You have to cross off courses that you came in with, for those of you who came in with credits, and that allows you to know where you are in your program. Your advisor will be filling out one of these for you each session as well, but the more prepared you come to your advising session, the better. And then a whole tab just about student teaching. So all those resources are there if you're a person who just feels like, I want to figure it out myself because I love puzzles. It's all right there, but also for your access. So if you're wondering about that OAE schedule, you're already thinking, what am I going to do in 2 years? You can look at that OAE schedule now. So that's a little bit about MyMount. You will find that MyMount can be a place to get easily lost. I know I still sometimes get lost in MyMount. I use the search bar often, but in the end, sometimes if I can't figure something out, I turn to a colleague or you know, someone in another department to help me out. So if you can't find something, just let us know and we'll help you. Yeah. Okay, Abby, Bella, Carly's here now, and Emma. Let's see here. How are you doing? Was this helpful? Do you have questions? What things were you hoping to learn and we didn't say anything about?
Laura, I wanted to ask you, did you want to mention something about if the students had had a teaching academy course?
Oh yeah, so I know Bella did. I don't know about Abby, Emma, or Carly, but if you did take a teaching academy course in your high school, you typically do not have to take EDU 190, the Introduction to Education course. So if that is you, I will want you to make an appointment with me so that I can touch base with you about what we do in that course so that you know how to become a member of the School of Education, because that's one of the things we cover. So, and then you're also always welcome to join the course for fun and not take a grade for it. Just come because it's fun, I think. But no one's ever taken me up on that, come to think of it. I know. But anyway, so, okay.
So Bella, do you have a question, Bella?
Oh, no, I was just saying that I was one of the Teacher Academy students.
Very good.
So, and you're not enrolled in EDU 190 then, correct?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So you and I will talk some other time once the year gets started, just sometime in September. would be ideal for you to contact me, and we'll go over a few things that I cover in the course that wouldn't have been in your academy.
Okay.
Emma, do you have a question? You okay there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I think, you guys, if you don't have questions now, that's totally fine. Of course, we hope that you walk away knowing that even though you might come up with your question 10 minutes after the Zoom call, which is usually my method of questioning, I go, oh, I should have asked. You can just contact us, any one of us, anytime, and we will help you, okay? A good place for you to find information, though, also, and just to get a sense of who we are and what's going on in the School of Education, is our social media. I don't know if any of you are connected with our social media yet. I think Bella is maybe, but we have, the handle is at MSJ School of Ed. I'll type it in the little bar. Oh, that won't get on the recording though. So at MSJ School of Ed. If you can't find it, let me know. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and I always get the other one confused. I think it's Instagram. So thank you, Lucy. Yeah, I forget. It's not Snapchat. It's the other one. That Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on there. I just don't know the name of it. So we put things out there all the time, whether that's student achievements, whether that's something that we put these forums up on there. Most of our returning students, I think, learned about the forums through our social media. We also emailed them. And speaking of email, use your MSJ email for all your communications with us. And it will get very busy. If you haven't noticed already, you will find yourself receiving all kinds of messages, but keep up with that email box, because it's going to be your pathway to know what's going on in our school and across campus. So, yeah. Faculty, any closing thoughts? Anything that I missed that I should have said?
I want to give a shout out to you, Laura, because you did a great job on The Lions Are Coming.
Oh, did you like the video?
I did. So if you guys haven't checked Laura out on that, make sure you do. Especially if you watch the wrestling coach first, because if there could be two opposites, you got them right there.
I have to say, when they asked me to do it and I had seen the wrestling coaches, when I'm like, are you sure? Because it's going to be different. But that's it.
That's very good. They're very powerful.
Well, I'll be sharing on School of Ed social media next week. I don't want to do it today because today is my day to really highlight Carla Good and her wonderful career with us. But it is already on Mount St. Joseph University's social media if you really want to check out that video. So I'm being teased about it a lot here with my family, but that's okay. That's what families are for. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think you mentioned this or not, but just so that they're aware of this, that classes that are required for licensure, you need to earn at least a C or higher. I don't think that was mentioned, but I wanted to make that clear that I mentioned that also because that's secondary education. Any content class that counts towards your license, you have to earn a C or higher in those classes as well. Obviously, we want you to go higher than that because we require a 2.8 GPA, but I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware of that requirement.
Right. For instance, the history class that you'll take in your freshman year, sociology and psychology are definitely required. I can't remember all the courses, but you can check with your advisor if you're worried about your grade in any classes. But like sociology and psychology, for instance, we require that you have a C or better in that course. If you get a D, that might be okay with the university, but it's not okay with the School of Education. Okay? So you want to make sure you attend to those classes and do well. And then on top of that, later you'll take methods courses in the School of Education where you're learning the methods of teaching math or reading and writing. Those courses will all require a B or better. Otherwise, they do need to be retaken. So, have that awareness, and it's in the School of Education syllabi. We put it in there what grade is required, but your psychology professor, since they're from another department, might not know what we require in the School of Ed. So just keep an eye on those things, and at your advising session in October with your advisor, they'll talk to you about grades and how you're doing, and point those things out to you. Thank you, Mike. Good point.
Yeah. And if you get straight A's, you have nothing to worry about. Not a thing. Just make sure it's in all of it.
But really, I think our number one thing is we wanted to be able to see your faces. We wanted to convey to you kind of at a more personal level than just an email what you might expect coming up, especially since there's a pandemic. And I know we get to see you again. I think the first Friday after classes start, there's a department meeting. Every student on campus will go to department meetings, and you guys will come to us. And then you may even have more questions because you would have been through a week of things already. So, but in the meanwhile, don't hesitate to call, text, email, send up smoke signals, although they're not that effective. We will get back to you as quickly as we can, even if it's just to say we're checking on it. Okay. And welcome to the Mount. We're so happy that you're with us. So happy you're with us. All right. Well, everyone have a good weekend.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye now.
Good seeing you guys. You all take care.